It was a quiet Saturday morning in suburban Ohio. Maya was enjoying the peace that came with a rare child-free weekend. Her daughter, Lily, had gone on a camping trip with Maya's parents, somewhere up north near Lake Erie. Lily had been so excited. She loved the outdoors, and Maya's parents were always thrilled to have her tag along. Maya trusted them completely. She and her husband, Daniel, had even joked about finally getting some time to themselves. Except Daniel wasn't home. He'd left Friday morning, saying he was flying to Denver for a weekend work conference. Maya didn't question it. He'd shown her the itinerary, even mentioned the keynote speaker he was looking forward to hearing. She waved him off with a kiss and settled into the quiet of the weekend. Late Saturday morning, as Maya sipped her coffee on the porch, her phone buzzed. A text from Lily. It was a selfie. Her daughter's cheeks flushed pink from the cool air, squished between her smiling grandparents, a forest of pine trees behind them, and a glimmer of a lake in the background. Lily had even added a heart emoji and a little caption. Best weekend ever. Maya smiled, about to send a reply, when something in the background caught her attention. She stopped. There, just beyond the tree line, was a blurry figure. It wasn't the focus of the photo, but it was unmistakable to her. The stance, the height, the jacket, it looked exactly like Daniel. Her stomach dropped. She zoomed in. The man was turned away slightly, but she could see enough. The cap he always wore when hiking, the tan field jacket she'd bought him last Christmas. She stared at the photo for a long time, trying to rationalize it. Maybe it was just someone who looked like him. Maybe her mind was jumping to conclusions. But no, that was him. She knew it. Her fingers trembled as she called her mother. Hey, Mom, how's everything going? Oh, Lily's having a blast, her mom replied. We just got back from a nature walk. She picked wildflowers. It's been perfect. Maya hesitated. Is it crowded up there? No, not really, her mom said. There was a man walking on the other side of the lake earlier. I think he was camping solo, but he didn't bother us. Maya's heart pounded. What did he look like? I don't know, honey. I didn't get a good look. Seemed tall, baseball cap. Why? Maya didn't answer right away. She just stared at the photo again, feeling as if the ground beneath her had shifted. Daniel wasn't supposed to be there. He was supposed to be miles away, in another time zone, in a conference hall. So, why was he lurking in the woods behind their daughter's camping trip? She couldn't stop imagining it. Had he followed them? Was he spying? Hiding? What reason could he possibly have for being there without telling her? A lie about a business trip was one thing. But this felt intentional, calculated. The smile on Lily's face in the picture now felt eerie, like the calm before something she couldn't yet understand. Maya's chest tightened as panic started to spread through her. Something was very, very wrong. Maya sat frozen on the porch, phone still in hand, staring at the image like it might suddenly change, like maybe she was imagining it all. But no matter how many times she zoomed in, closed the photo, reopened it, he was still there, Daniel, in the background of their daughter's photo, supposed to be in Denver. Instead, near the lake, near them, she opened her messages and scrolled through her recent text with him. The last one had been late the night before. Long day. Crashing early. Love you. She checked the timestamp, 10:12 p.m. It hadn't seemed odd then. Now, it felt like a lie soaked in bold confidence. She called him, heart racing. It rang once, twice, straight to voicemail. She didn't leave a message. Maya stood up abruptly, pacing the porch, her mind racing. Should she tell her parents? Call the police? Drive up there herself? There were too many questions and not nearly enough answers. Was Daniel dangerous? Was he watching them? Was Lily safe? She opened the photo again and noticed something else, something she'd missed in her first wave of panic. The figure wasn't just in the background. He was facing the direction of the camera. Not directly, but enough that if he'd taken a few steps forward, he'd have been in the shot. It felt intentional, almost like he wanted to be seen but not clearly. A shiver ran down her spine. She called her mom again, trying to keep her voice steady. Hey, Mom, listen, I need you to do me a favor. Of course, sweetie, what's up? Can you just stay near the cabin for the rest of the day? Keep Lily inside if you can. Just say the weather might turn or something. I just have a weird feeling. Her mom paused. Maya, what's going on? I'm not sure yet, she said truthfully. But please, just do this for me. Her mom agreed, clearly concerned, and Maya hung up. Her fingers hovered over the address bar of her phone's GPS. She typed in the name of the campground, heart pounding as she started packing a small bag, grabbing her keys from the counter. She had to go up there. She couldn't sit around wondering, imagining worst-case scenarios. As she pulled out of the driveway, her phone buzzed again. A new message from Daniel. Just one word. Sorry. Maya nearly swerved off the road. There was no explanation. No follow-up. Just sorry. Like he knew. Like he'd been caught. Like he wanted her to know. And with that, the quiet weekend was gone, replaced by a growing storm she could feel in her bones. The trees grew denser as Maya drove north, the sky darkening just slightly under the weight of clouds that weren't quite ready to rain. Her hands gripped the steering wheel tighter with every passing mile. Sorry. That word kept echoing in her head. Now I'm sorry I lied. Not sorry I scared you. Not sorry you saw me. Just that single word, like it was enough to explain away everything. She couldn't stop checking her rearview mirror, not because she thought she was being followed, but because she couldn't shake the feeling that she was already being watched. It was a strange, crawling kind of fear, like someone had peeled back the curtain on a life she thought she understood. Daniel wasn't a perfect husband. There had been fights, sure, moments when things felt strained. But he wasn't violent. He wasn't cruel. Still, this was something else. This wasn't forgotten anniversary or a lie about working late. This was calculated, creepy. The campground came into view just as the sun dipped behind the trees. A gravel road wound through the woods, and she could see the edge of the lake through the branches. She parked just outside the ranger's cabin, heart hammering, and texted her mom, I'm here. Stay inside. I'll come get Lily. She didn't wait for a reply. The path to her parents' cabin was familiar. They'd brought Lily here before, and Maya had visited plenty of times growing up, but now it felt different. Every twig snap, every rustling leaf made her flinch. As she rounded the bend, the small wooden cabin came into view. The porch light was on, warm and welcoming. Too normal. She knocked, and her dad opened the door. Maya? What on earth? I need to take Lily home, she said, pushing past him gently. I'll explain later. Is she here? Lily was curled up on the couch in her pajamas, cheeks flushed from the long day. She looked up, surprised. Mom, I thought you weren't coming till Sunday. I know, baby, Maya said, kneeling. Change your clothes and grab your things, okay? We're going home early. Her mom and dad exchanged a look, but didn't argue. Her mom put a hand on her shoulder. You're scaring me, Maya. What's going on? He's here, she whispered. Daniel. I saw him in Lily's photo. Her mother's face paled. That was Daniel? Maya nodded. As Lily got ready, Maya peeked out the window toward the woods. Shadows shifted between the trees, but nothing moved. Still, her pulse wouldn't slow down. Just as they were getting ready to leave, her dad stepped outside to walk them to the car. Halfway down the path, he stopped. They're just on the edge of the woods, barely visible behind the trees. Someone was standing, watching. Maya's dad froze. Get Lily in the car. Now. Maya didn't hesitate. She scooped her daughter up, heart pounding, and rushed her to the car. As she buckled Lily in, she dared one glance back. The figure was gone, but she'd seen him. Clearer this time. Daniel. She didn't wait. She slammed the door, jumped into the driver's seat, and tore out of the campground, gravel spitting from under the tires. Her daughter asked questions from the back seat, but Maya just said, We'll talk when we get home. The whole way back, she kept checking the rearview mirror, half expecting to see headlights following her. But the road stayed empty. She didn't know what Daniel was doing out there, or why, but she knew this wasn't just about lies anymore. This was about control, about obsession, and she'd just seen a side of him she could never unsee. The silence in the car was heavy, broken only by the hum of the tires and the occasional question from Lily. Is Daddy coming home tomorrow? Maya kept her eyes on the road. No, baby. He's not coming home for a while. Lily didn't ask why. Maybe she picked up on the tension in her mother's voice, or maybe she was too tired to push. Either way, Maya was grateful. She needed time to figure out what to say, what not to say. Because what could she even explain? That her father had lied about traveling for work and secretly showed up at a campground to lurk in the woods near his daughter? That he'd somehow been watching without ever being seen? She pulled into the driveway just after 10, and once Lily was asleep upstairs, Maya sat alone in the kitchen, her phone resting face down on the table. She hadn't received another text from Daniel. No call. No attempt to explain. Just sorry. She stared at the screen like it might do something. Ring. Light up. Offer closure. Instead, it buzzed. Unknown number. Her throat tightened. She let go to voicemail. A minute later, a message appeared. With shaking fingers, she hit play. It was Daniel's voice. Quiet. Calm. I didn't mean to scare anyone. I wanted to see her. I missed her. And I didn't know how to say that without ruining everything. There was a pause. I saw you saw me. I wasn't trying to hide. Maya, I just didn't know what to do. Another pause. Breathing. I'm not coming back, but I'll always be nearby. The line went dead. Maya sat there, frozen, her mind racing through 1,000 things at once. He hadn't just lied. He hadn't just shown up unannounced. He was telling her he would always be around, not present, not involved, but watching. It wasn't love. It was surveillance. Obsession. Her first instinct was to call the police. But what would she say? He hadn't technically done anything illegal. He hadn't approached them, hadn't made any threats. But everything about this felt wrong. Dangerous. She began documenting everything. Screenshots. The photo. His voicemail. Every detail. If this ever went further, and she had a sinking feeling it might, she needed to be ready. The next morning, she filed for an emergency protective order. She had to tell Lily something vague but reassuring about how Daddy wasn't going to be around for a little while, and that it wasn't her fault. Lily nodded quietly. Her usual spark dimmed, and every night after, Maya checked the locks twice, sometimes 3 times. She installed a camera on the front porch, another facing the backyard. Her parents called often. So did her sister. Everyone was supportive, but none of them truly understood the eerie, skin-crawling fear of knowing someone who used to share your bed could be out there, watching. She never got another message. But sometimes, late at night, she thought she saw headlights slowing in front of the house. A silhouette that didn't match any neighbors. A shape in the trees that lingered a second too long. No proof. No confirmation. Just a feeling. And that single, haunting word that started it all. Weeks passed, but the tension didn't. The house was quiet, safe, on the outside. Inside, Maya couldn't relax. Every creak in the floor, every rustle outside the window, sent a fresh wave of panic through her. She'd install motion lights, reinforce the doors, and even change her routine. Lily never walked home from school anymore. Maya picked her up, always early, always watching. She still hadn't heard from Daniel again, but that almost made it worse. The silence wasn't peaceful. It was a threat with no timestamp. It meant he was still out there, lurking, waiting, maybe close, maybe watching from a parked car just down the street. One night, around 2 a.m., Maya was jolted awake by the front porch light flicking on. Her heart leapt. She grabbed her phone and opened the camera feed. A raccoon. She laughed, sharp and dry, on the edge of crying. Her body was exhausted from being on alert, from pretending to Lily that everything was okay, from replaying that voicemail again and again, wondering what it really meant. She started seeing a therapist, Dr. Linton, through a trauma recovery program her sister had found. It helped a little. Naming the fear made it real, but manageable. Dr. Linton called it covert stalking, a kind that doesn't always break laws, just breaks you down little by little. It's psychological warfare. Maya nodded through the sessions, sometimes silent, sometimes angry, but at least she wasn't pretending anymore. Then one evening, Lily came home from school with something in her backpack, A small note, folded, no envelope, no name, just 2 lines, written in a handwriting Maya hadn't seen in months. I saw her laugh today. She's okay. You're doing great. Maya's blood turned to ice. It was him. Somehow, somewhere, he'd seen them. Watched Lily. Slipped this note into her backpack, without anyone noticing. And the way he phrased it, like he was giving her a gold star, like he was still part of their life, like he had a right to observe from the shadows and comment. Maya called the police. This time, they took it more seriously. An officer came to the house, examined the note, filed a formal report. They assigned a detective to monitor the case. But the truth was, without a direct threat or physical contact, there wasn't much they could do. Still, Maya wasn't the same after that. She moved Lily into a different school under a different last name. She changed her own number, bought a new phone, filed for full custody, even though Daniel hadn't contested anything yet. Every move was deliberate, quiet, and carefully documented. It wasn't about anger anymore. It was about survival. Months went by with no more notes, no sightings, no strange lights or figures in the woods. Life slowly began to stitch itself back together. Lily started smiling again, laughing without flinching. Maya found herself relaxing just slightly, enough to sleep through the night sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. But even as the seasons changed and snow fell gently across the front lawn, Maya knew one thing would never return to normal: the feeling of safety. Because somewhere out there was a man who used to be her husband, a man who thought watching counted as love, and a camera feed she still checked every single night. Winter melted into spring, but the tension never truly thawed. Maya had done everything she could to erase the pathways Daniel might follow. She'd changed their routines, changed the locks, changed their names at school, even moved Lily's pediatrician. Her life now existed in this strange halfway state. Safe enough to function, but never so safe that she could fully breathe. Lily adjusted faster than Maya expected. Kids are resilient that way. Or maybe it was just the way Maya worked overtime to create the illusion of calm. She painted Lily's new bedroom a bright seafoam green, filled it with fairy lights and books and posters of the things she loved. They started having little Friday night pizza parties. Just the two of them, movies and junk food. Maya laughed more, even if it felt a bit forced at first. But some nights, when Lily had gone to bed and the house had gone still, Maya would sit in the living room staring at the front door, listening. Just listening. Because some part of her always expected that doorknob to turn, for that voicemail to turn into something more. She couldn't unsee the look in his eyes from the blurry photo, the photo that had changed everything. The police had eventually classified her case as a non-violent stalking concern, which sounded more like a weather forecast than a real threat. But the detective assigned to her case, Detective Hartley, seemed to take it seriously. He checked in monthly, sometimes even drove by the house on his off days just to be sure everything looked normal. It helped. A little. Still, Maya lived by rules now. No routines longer than a month. No social media. No photos of Lily online. No posting locations. Her world had become smaller, quieter, not out of fear, but out of strategy. Because Daniel was still out there. One Saturday afternoon in early May, Maya and Lily went to the local library, a place they hadn't visited since the move. Lily loved the children's section, especially the little reading tent. Maya let her wander inside with a picture book while she browsed nearby. It wasn't until they were checking out that Maya felt it, that itch on the back of her neck, that sense that someone was standing just a little too close. She turned, heart quickening. No one, just an older woman digging through her purse, and a teen flipping through a manga novel. Still, Maya's hand hovered over Lily's shoulder as they walked back to the car. She scanned the parking lot before unlocking the doors. And just as she reached for the handle, she saw it, tucked beneath her windshield wiper, a small white envelope. No name, no postage, just a piece of tape to keep it from blowing away. Maya froze. Her first instinct was to grab Lily. But Lily was already climbing into back seat, chattering about the book she'd found. Maya slipped the envelope into her purse, forced a smile, and drove away without touching again until they were home. Once Lily was distracted with her new book, Maya stepped into the laundry room, locked the door behind her, and opened the envelope with trembling hands. Inside was a single photograph. It was grainy, likely from a distance, but clear enough. Lily, in the library's reading tent, curled up with her book, and written on the back, in that familiar slanted handwriting, "I'm glad she still loves stories." Maya couldn't breathe. She dropped the photo, stared at it like it had fangs. He'd been there, close enough to photograph Lily, close enough to leave a message and disappear again. And this time, she hadn't seen him, hadn't felt him. He was getting better at hiding. That scared her more than anything else. The police came again. They took the photo, dusted the envelope for prints, though Maya knew he wouldn't be that careless. Hartley looked genuinely rattled this time. "He's escalating," he said. "He's not breaking laws. Not yet, but he's getting bolder. He wants you to know he's watching." Maya just nodded. Her voice was gone. All she could think about was how close he'd been, and how normal that afternoon had felt. How she'd let herself believe, even for a moment, that things were finally settling. She took a leave of absence from work the next day. Her boss, understanding but hesitant, offered her resources. Maya didn't want them. She wanted space. She packed their bags that night. 3 days later, Maya and Lily were on a plane to Arizona. She didn't tell her parents where she was going. Didn't tell her sister or her friends. She left behind everything but the essentials: birth certificates, legal documents, cash, and a burner phone. She'd enrolled in a relocation program for victims of stalking. With Hartley's help and the photo as evidence, she qualified. It wasn't witness protection, but it was close enough. New names, a new start. They moved into a small, sunlit apartment in a quiet desert town. Lily became Ellie. Maya became Claire. It was hard, at first, relearning who they were allowed to be, rewriting their names in their own handwriting, reminding themselves to respond when someone called them by their new ones. But it got easier, and for a while, just a little while, there were no notes, no photos, no signs that Daniel had followed them, until one day, months later, Maya, Claire, opened her mailbox. No name on the envelope, no return address. Inside, a library card from Ohio, and scribbled underneath the barcode, in faint pencil, "Some stories never end." Maya didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just closed her eyes, held her daughter tighter that night, and made a silent vow. This story, she would be the one to finish it.